But your boy Brandon Johnson got some staffing people that are in trouble. All right, he hires a lot of people that are dirty, and a lot of these dirty people are getting ousted from his ranks. Shout out to Cameron. What's good with you, bro? They're getting ousted, and a lot of inside people are coming forward and giving testimony about Brandon Johnson and his clownish ways. So we're gonna take a listen to what's going on. And I don't know if you guys heard about this, but he dropped the price on that budget. He was trying to do the $500 million budget. Got no support from city council for it. Now he's trying to do a $66 million budget, and I don't think they're gonna go for that either, but we're gonna see.
Right now. As the daughter of two Chicago police officers, public service was a natural fit for Ashley Rodriguez. Landing a job in Mayor Lori Lightfoot's press office was a dream job.
What's good with it, Tedra?
Rodriguez was fired from the Johnson administration and placed on the do not hire list.
It completely ruined a future that I would have. And so it's not fair to me. And for the people behind me, it's not fair for them either.
3 other former Johnson press staff members were also fired and placed on the do not hire list. At the time, the former employees say they were never told by the Johnson administration why they made the list.
I'd say it was retaliation.
They believe it was retaliation from Mayor Johnson's former communications director, Ronnie Reese. Public records show former employees spoke up about Reese's behavior that allegedly included harassment, sexism, and racism.
I witnessed a difference in the treatment of male staffers and female staffers, yes.
In a statement, Reese denies all allegations. He was fired in October and not placed on the do not hire list. Some of the former fired staffers brought their concerns about Reese last year to the mayor's chief of staff, Christina Pacion-Zayas. They say she suggested.
Hey, listen, let me ask y'all this question. Why do Brandon Johnson always look like a deer in the headlights? Why do Brandon Johnson always look like a deer in the headlights? Look at him. He look lost. He don't know where he's going, but I got the answer for him. He ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
They say she suggested peace circles and restorative justice to solve the issues with Reese. Yesterday, Mayor Johnson denied knowing about the allegations against Reese until last week, when his office received a Freedom of Information Act request for a copy of Reese's personnel file. Some alders doubt it.
I don't see how the mayor could not know about this.
The mayor is saying that he did not know about it. I think that there's going to be some requests, FOIA requests, to take a look at communication to determine whether that or not that's true.
The 4 former City Hall employees were taken off the do not hire list following an appeal, but it took over a year. The do not hire list is usually reserved for former employees who are accused of serious misconduct or criminal activity. Watch breaking news.
So there you go. And again, if you are not familiar with that situation, we talked about it at length on this channel. All right, so check out some of the other videos. So now next, what we about to do is we about to get into some of this spending, right? We about to get into some of this spending because how long have we been saying that this migrant crisis is not only inoperable, but it's unsustainable? Been saying it forever, not just on this channel, on the other channels as well. All right. Chicago's got that $1 billion budget deficit. That's huge, right? People talking about it. Let's go.
So let's bring in Chicago resident and radio host P. Ray Easley. She attended yesterday's city council meeting. She once interned as a high school senior for then state senator Barack Obama and is now a supporter of President-elect Trump and served as a campaign surrogate over the course of the campaign. P. Ray, thank you for joining us today. It's good to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us. So this is Mayor Brandon Johnson on November 12th. So this is shortly after the election. And he was responding to some of the new policies that are the expectation in the incoming Trump administration with regard to deportation. Watch what he said on November 12th.
His threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against Black families. I'm a descendant of...
You hear this, clown? Really? Let me ask you guys, do I need to ask? Do I need to ask? What is Brandon Johnson trying to do right here? What is he trying to do? Let me know. What is he trying to do?
That's what he said on November 12th.
His threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against Black families. I'm a descendant of slaves.
What's the threats against Black families? And the only reason he's mentioning the fact that he's a descendant of slaves is to try to get people emotionally involved. You being a descendant of slaves and literally never representing, never doing anything, making us look bad, all the nonsense that you do, don't attach yourself to that identity now. Just keep doing what you was doing. Now, when you need some sympathy and you need some tears, you want to say, oh, I'm a descendant of slaves. You don't act like one. I'll tell you that. He don't act like one. If you guys agree, he don't act like one, give me a thumbs up. He not like us. He not like us. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't act like one. Shout out to Carlton Way. But I'm trying to figure out the black families part. I need somebody to bring me the Trump threats against the black families. Because I'm sure Brandon Johnson ain't the only person that's going to say that. Somebody else going to say that too. But I need to hear the material threat. What was it? What's the material threats? Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people would say that mass immigration and utilizing the resources in these majority black areas, how many people would say that that is a threat to black families? I would say that that's a threat to black families that's actually been realized. There's more people in Chicago who are speaking up and speaking out against Brandon Johnson than are speaking up and speaking out against the prospects of a Trump presidency. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said they keep saying he is going to do all this stuff to black people, and I've never heard him say such a damn thing. Yeah, me neither. You know what I'm saying? Me neither.
For the election, and he was responding to some of the new policies that are the expectation in the incoming Trump administration with regard to deportation. Watch what he said on November 12th.
His threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against black families. I'm a descendant of slaves. Living through threat is painful. Why would I want anybody else to experience that? Whether you are a new arrival or someone who came up through the Great Migration from the South.
Listen to this clown, man. Listen to this clown.
We're not going to threaten people. We're going to stand up and fight for people.
P. Ray, what's your response to what the mayor had to say back on the 12th?
Brandon Johnson said we're gonna stand up and fight for people. How many of y'all gonna stand up? If you're gonna stand up and fight for people, give me a thumbs up. If you're not gonna stand up and fight for people, give me a thumbs down. I'm not standing up and fighting for no damn body. I'm standing up and fighting for myself. I'm not fighting for nobody. I'm fighting for myself. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Johnson, you're wrong about that, bro. Brandon Johnson, you're wrong about that. Shout out to everybody watching, man. I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't hit that like button yet, do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media. Isn't it great how these people just volunteer you for stuff? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm turning it away. I'm turning it down. We sending him away like we send the Jehovah's Witnesses away. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the most disrespectful thing he's ever said out of his mouth. We, the American Negro people, are 100% American. This illegal immigration, whatever they're calling it, it is none of our business. We are as American as sweet potato pie, and we stand with the American president to make our borders secure and make our citizens safe. It's an insult to our ancestors.
Yeah, all this patriotic stuff she talking about, she going a little bit overboard with it, but yeah, the not our business part, I feel you on that.
To try to use our generational trauma that we're trying to get over in our country. We're not guests here. This is our country. I'm an 8th generation free American. That's not counting before the 1870 census. So when we're talking about how we're going to deal with the illegals, we have zero American Negro political capital to spend on this. This is our country, and we want to make it great as well.
You know, it's fascinating to watch these various speakers at this event. The governor of Illinois, Governor Pritzker, has also said that he will do whatever it takes to protect the new arrivals that are, using up a lot of the services in Illinois right now. Here he is on November 14th. Watch this.
We have a law on the books.
Shout out to Cameron. Cameron says, I think we are patriots. The Olympics, every war. Me personally, I am not. I've always questioned why black people participate in the Olympics on behalf of the United States. And I really never had any idea why anybody went and fought a war for the United States. You know what I'm saying? My dad was in the Army and he got drafted. That's back when they had the draft. But yeah, nah, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm cool on it. You know what I'm saying? I live here, my address. As far as America goes for me, you know what I'm saying? It's just like at work. Like, I just work here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about no red, white, and blue. I don't care about no apple pie. I don't care about none of that. None of that. I just live here. You know what I'm saying? I just work here.
in the state of Illinois called the Trust Act, which prohibits our local law enforcement and sheriffs and the like from coordinating with the federal authorities. I'm going to do everything that I can to protect our undocumented immigrants, the residents of our state.
So it's pretty clear that he and the mayor are out of step with the way that you think and the other individuals that we just watched. What's your sense of Illinois and Chicago in general? Do you see a change happening? I mean, Biden obviously still won in the state of Illinois, but what do you see on the ground politically?
Well, yes, President Biden, or Kamala rather, won.
Kamala Harris.
However, we have increased the voter turnout for the Republican Party, specifically President Trump, astronomically. We made national news here. We don't have money to pay for these illegals anymore. We are out of the business of funding illegals, regardless of what the mayor or the governor is saying. We are looking forward to.
Now, I feel this, right? I feel what she's saying. But again, we always got to ask this question. We got to always ask the question. Who voted for Brandon Johnson? Who put him in office? Who put the check mark on them boxes and put that man in office? Gotta ask that question.
President Trump and Tom Homan coming here to assist us. And every day we share the number with each other, which is 866-DHS2.
Right.
See something, say something.
Shout out to Carlton. Facts. If y'all agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Carlton said it's like we hate WS, but proud that we helped build it. Strange flex, bro. Strange flex. That's them Popeye arms. that's them Popeye arms.
Send them to the city of Chicago. We're praying for ICE, and we cannot wait to get here. We are going to be lockstep with President Trump.
Shout out to NY State of Mind. What's good with you, bro?
Securing who we are. It doesn't matter that people don't like the president. It doesn't matter that people don't like his tweets or what they call rhetoric. We are fighting for our own survival. Our grandparents came up here as migrants, not these illegal immigrants. When they came up during the Great Migration, they stood on their feet in American factories to give us the land that we're currently trying to hold on to today. Because in group chats should not be about property taxes, but they are, because we are being taxed so that the illegals can feast off of our hard work. What do they do to deserve this? Why are they so special that they get to come up to Chicago and just thrive while our people are struggling, going out in cold weather every day to get money to pay their taxes? We're not doing that anymore. And President Trump, please come to Chicago. Please, please, please. We're going to give you a ticker tape parade. We need you right here in our city to reinvigorate us.
Pire Easley, thank you very much. I'm going to ask Jason Miller, who works for the president, if he plans on visiting cities like Chicago. So we'll try to get you an answer on that right away. Pire, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so there's that. All right, so they're not feeling it in Chicago, man. They're not happy with Brandon Johnson. We've been talking about this since day one. All right, we've been talking about this since day one. So now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at this situation going down with Brandon Johnson trying to change his image. All right, Brandon Johnson is trying to change his image, and they got Rahm Emanuel and comparing him to Brandon Johnson, which is interesting. They must have got that idea from that old lady that was on there last time. Shout out to Jada Informant. What's good with it, bro? So we're gonna take a look we're gonna take a look at this and see exactly what they talk about, man. I still don't understand how Brandon Johnson I will never understand how Brandon Johnson got elected. I will never get it. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get it. Shout out to NY State of Mind. NY State of Mind said Fox News are friends now. They want to hear an honest black perspective. No, not at all.
Former Mayor Rahm Emanuel back in Chicago today visiting family for the holiday. And while current Mayor Brandon Johnson is facing multiple challenges, from negotiating a budget, firing his close friend and communications director, to low poll numbers.
It's really a job that only very few people have held and understand. Tonight, political reporter Marianne Ahern spoke to Emanuel as Mayor Johnson is trying to go on a PR blitz to try to reshape this image. Marianne?
Alex and Allison.
Brandon Johnson's PR image is done. There's no fixing his PR image. It is over for Brandon Johnson. I don't understand what he don't understand about that. I don't understand what his staff don't understand about that. I don't understand anybody that doesn't understand that it's over for Brandon Johnson. It's over for Brandon Johnson. Literally nobody likes him. I think that I've seen multiple articles from liberal news media outlets that are saying that Brandon Johnson is the worst mayor in Chicago history. And I wouldn't doubt it. I'm curious as to what Brandon Johnson's most recent approval ratings are. This dude is completely out of touch with his constituents, completely out of touch. Yeah, shout out to Tedra. I agree. She's doing way too much. She's doing way too much. You know what I'm saying? shout out to KOK Fit. Get him out of here. Look, hey, KOK Fit, look, I got one for you. He about to be crying like the Game Master. Look, watch this. Hold on real quick. He's finna cry like the Game Master.
You cheated! I'm going to stand on you!
He gonna cry like the Game Master. He gonna be like, "Come on now, y'all not being nice to me now."
And good evening. Mayor Johnson defended his style of leadership when he spoke to a packed crowd at the City Club today. Meanwhile, Rahm Emanuel is looking at what's next for him and whether he might run again for public office.
I'm not done with public service. I don't know which shape, what form.
Ambassador to Japan Rahm Emanuel's appointment will end in January. He'll return to Chicago, and there's talk of him throwing his name in the hat to lead the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, or perhaps run for office.
There's a lot of different ways to serve.
He's aware, critics will recall, when he closed 50 Chicago public schools and the fallout for how he handled when Laquan McDonald was shot by a Chicago police officer 16 times.
You don't get a do-over in life. You get lessons learned. But there are things that you would do different. And if you don't learn from life, you got the judgment for office.
The financial challenges that we inherited are severe.
This afternoon, Mayor Brandon Johnson at the City Club criticized Emanuel's leadership.
2 administrations ago, there was the property tax increase over $500 million for 3 consecutive years. That was the so-called pro-business mayor, where pension debt grew, property taxes increased, and the thing that he was supposed to solve, he didn't. It actually got worse.
Despite Johnson's low approval numbers, below 20%, he is not.
Woo! Brandon Johnson's approval ratings are at 20%. I would like to interview Brandon Johnson just to see how you can do such a horrible job. I mean, this is crazy. He's done a phenomenal job of doing a horrible job. How do you do that? How do you do that? Real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. We got 22 people watching and 14 likes. We are 8 away from the 101. If everybody could take a moment, smash the like button. If you're watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the bell, subscribe to the channel, and also please share the stream to your social media. We greatly appreciate it.
Low 20%, he is not deterred.
We've tried it a different way already. It didn't work, you all. And you know how I know? Because I'm here.
Emanuel's advice to Johnson.
If he's interested in my opinion, I will offer to him in private, in council. I know the pressures of that office. They're hard, and I'm not here to make anything harder. I've said from day one, I will help with my successors. I cheer for the success of the city.
Emanuel and Johnson, they have met privately a few times, but not recently. More, though, on what might be next for Ambassador Emanuel. You'll have to join us again at 6. Allison.
Looking forward to that. Thank you, Mary.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now next what we're about to do is we're about to take a look at the alder people, right? Because the alder people are accusing Brandon Johnson's office of abusing the do not hire list, what we talked about earlier in the live stream. So again, this is just more of this Brandon Johnson nonsense. And as people start to see and peel back the layers, no one should be surprised as to why Brandon Johnson is just horrible and just handling the migrant crisis like a complete moron. And that's because he is one.
Well, much more ahead on the Red Cross and their mission. First, though, allegations against Mayor Brandon Johnson's office tonight that his team is intimidating employees by putting them on the city's do not hire list.
So again, this is the Democrats doing what they say other people do. And shout out to Jesse. Make sure y'all throw some flames in the chat for Jesse for enforcing the likes.
We'll have much more ahead on the Red Cross and their mission. First, though, allegations against Mayor Brandon Johnson's office tonight that his team is intimidating employees by putting them on the city's do not hire list after they've been fired.
2 members of council begin work to prevent this from happening in the future. We get the latest tonight from political reporter Chris Tye. Chris.
Hey, Joe and Erica, 4 members of the mayor's staff fired, then placed on the do not hire list, went in front of cameras today talking about a concerning trend. These 4 were eventually taken off the list, but 2 members of city council say these stories reveal a legal and ethical unraveling inside the Johnson administration.
The big issue that we're addressing here is the abuse of the do not hire list. and the atmosphere that was created in an office to create intimidation, hostility, toxicity.
You know, as far as
That atmosphere inside the offices of the Johnson administration rerouted the career of Ashley Rodriguez.
I wanted to grow and I wanted to be able to improve in my career and get farther. And this absolutely stopped me in my tracks.
Once a social media strategist for the mayor, she was fired, then placed on the do not hire list. She believes unfairly.
It completely ruined a future that I would have.
She was later taken off the list as she made her case.
We're here today
But two members of council are noticing a trend where threats to fall in line or face a future on the do not hire list looms.
And
several employees reported directly to Mayor Johnson's close friend and communications director Ronnie Reese, himself fired last month over allegations of sexual harassment and
Now, do you guys remember when we talked about Ronnie Reese? If you guys remember us talking about Ronnie Reese, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. There was a section from the Chicago Tribune that we looked at in discussing Ronnie Reese. This dude is a weirdo.
misogyny.
What Mr. Reese did, again, is illegal activity, unethical activity, and we need to rectify it through the city council because the mayor, unfortunately, has not taken responsibility for these actions.
What we saw under Ronnie Reese and in this administration was just an abuse of an ordinance that was put in place to deal with infamous crimes, not to be used as a political retribution or payback.
The mayor's chief of staff, according to documents obtained by CBS News Chicago, referenced the use of peace circles to help aid those complaining about Reese. Today, alders asked the city's head of HR,
Is peace circles part of the process?
I don't know what a peace circle is.
Okay.
alders now working on policies to prevent do not hire intimidation, as Reese remains off the list, and the mayor claims he didn't know about Reese's issues until recently.
When it gets to this level on the 5th floor, somebody should be briefing the mayor. And if they weren't, they were irresponsible.
We reached out to the mayor's office and Ronnie Reese tonight. We did not hear back from either. Those on the do not hire list say it is a stinging place to have your name. Of course, it prevents city work, but private sector employers turn cold when they learn that the employee that they might be hiring is on that list. Much more on this in the days to come. For now, live in the newsroom, Chris Tide, CBS News, Chicago.
So there's that.